Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, it is KingNido here, and we're coming to you today from Levere City, where the Candy Hearts are hosting the normal type Goldenrod Aces, and both these sides are off to a terrible start, which is unfortunate to say, with both of them currently sitting outside of a leader's 8 position, but they could start to change that here today. So let us know who you think will win, and let's get it down.
3, 2, 1, go!
Now, the Goldenrod Aces are coming in, and they've lost 3 games this season, but they are starting out with Weird and Ursaluna, but it'll be Dashbun and Mimikyu starting out for the Fairy types, but Weird has that Intimidate ability, so immediately it is going to lower that physical attack stat of both Fairy type, as we get an Eerie spell immediately onto Weird from Mimikyu, which is not very effective onto the Psychic type Pokemon, as the Draining Kiss onto Ursaluna from Dashbun would normally restore a bit of health, but Dashbun is currently at full strength as we get the Guard Swap from Weird. See if Ursaluna though can bring some of that huge power with that 140 base attack, as it goes for the Wave Crash onto Mimikyu, which is immediately going to get rid of that disguise that Mimikyu has. It is busted, it does take a little bit of damage, but probably not as much as it would have taken if it had already been busted, as that False Swipe does minimal damage to Ursaluna, but it's followed up by a super effective Ice Spinner from Dashbun, which Ursaluna actually tanks. But Weird responding with an Uproar for its side, but it doesn't affect Mimikyu due to it being part Ghost type. Ursaluna though, with the Mega Horn onto Mimikyu, not very effective. Mimikyu is able to tank that hit and responds by setting up a wish. We'll see if this wish can come true soon. Maybe they will be able to win the match. That's the ultimate wish coming true, is the Shell Side Arm onto Ursaluna, not very effective from Dashbun, and is able to stave off being poisoned, as we get the Ice Beam from Weird onto Dashbun. Great hit there. And Ursaluna follows it up with a super effective Poison Tail, but Dashbun's able to hold on, but it has been left poisoned, which means this poisoning is going to finish it off. So Dashbun is eliminated by being poisoned thanks to Ursaluna. Ursaluna does not get the knockout credit, unfortunately, as Gardevoir comes out for the Candy Hearts. Mimikyu sets up an Electric Terrain, and Ursaluna, being part Ground type, will not be phased whatsoever because it is immune to all electric type attacks. Gardevoir though, with the Rock Throw onto Ursaluna, yet another not very effective hit onto that massive Pokemon. But the Memento from Weird, it's going to eliminate itself so that it can lower the attack stats, both that physical and special attack of Gardevoir, lowering them a great deal. And Gardevoir does have that 125 base attack, so you do not want to be hit by that. But a Crunch is going to do huge damage onto Gardevoir from Ursaluna. I almost said it was super effective, but due to it being part Fairy type, it prevents it from being so. As Miss Magius comes out for the Aces, it is the Terrestrial Pokemon for the normal type side, so it immediately loses its immunity to normal types in becoming one, but gains an immunity to Ghost types. As I stumble over my words here, it's already immune to ground types because it has that Levitate ability, as we get the stored power from Miss Magius. Not very effective there onto Gardevoir. Mimikyu looking to respond with an Acupressure here. This could be really interesting to see if it helps, as it does boost its defense here. See if it can take a hit well, but a Torment from Gardevoir. It's going to subject Miss Magius to that Torment, so we will be seeing it struggle at different points shortly. But first, we get the charge from Ursaluna, so it is going to be on the field, beginning to charge power, boosting its special defense. But Miss Magius, with no moves left, as I mentioned, is going to struggle. It does concentrate on Gardevoir there, but it does get the recoil damage from that struggle, as we have Mimikyu going for the Scald onto Miss Magius. Surely should have gone for Ursaluna, trying to capitalize on that ground typing, but it doesn't, as we get the Focus Blast from Gardevoir. But Ursaluna's bulletproof, so it won't affect it, allowing Ursaluna to respond with the Discharge, hitting everybody on the field, but it eliminates Gardevoir from this matchup, capitalizing on that Electric Terrain, as we have Blissey coming out for the Levere Candy Hearts. We have 2 Terrestrial Pokemon on the field right now, as Blissey does become part Fairy type. Sorry, I said part Fairy type. It is all Fairy. Looking at that huge Pokemon with that massive 255 base health, we get the Gust onto Mimikyu from Miss Magius, as Mimikyu responds, setting up a Toxic Spikes on the side of the Goldenrod Aces. This is very smart, because any Pokemon now that comes out for the Goldenrod Aces will be left poisoned, unless they've got a Levitate ability similar to Miss Magius, or they are flying. But Blissey, with the no retreat, going with the Omni boost, it will not be able to escape but it is boosting all of its stats, including that 135 base special defense. It can take a special hit, but Ursaluna is going to boost its own stats here, going for the Psycho up. It copies Ursaluna's stat changes. That is so intelligent. It copies Blissy's stat changes, so that is so intelligent by Ursaluna, but Miss Magius continues its struggle, hitting Blissey, and it is eliminated. I have stumbled over my words so many times with Ursaluna's stat boost, I believe, but still, it is going to receive the Psychic Fangs from Mimikyu, and Blissey tries for the Thunderbolt, but Ursaluna is immune with that part ground typing, and it is going to go for the Whirlpool now onto Mimikyu. Mimikyu is going to be taking continuous damage from this, being trapped in that watery vortex here, so it's surely only got a number of turns left as the electricity does disappear from the field, and out comes Oranguru for the Goldenrod Aces, but it immediately lands in those toxic spikes, so it is going to be poisoned. Status conditions are aplenty here as we get the pain split from Mimikyu. Very intelligent, focusing in on Oranguru there. This will keep it in the matchup longer because it's just gained some of its health, but we get extra sensory onto Oranguru. Not very effective from Blissey, as Ursaluna with the Drain Punch. It won't affect Mimikyu, that Ghost type coming into play, but the Dragon Darts will not hit either Blissey or Mimikyu. They are both immune to Dragon type moves, being Fairy types, as Oranguru feels that poisoning, and Mimikyu feeling the effects of that Whirlpool. Mimikyu does go for the X-Scissor as well onto Oranguru, and that super effective hit takes out the normal Psychic type. This is going to allow Blissey to go for a Leaf Blade onto Ursaluna, but Ursaluna tanks it, even though it's a super effective hit, allowing Ursaluna to go for a Dragon Dance here. So it is going to boost that attack stat even further, as well as its speed, but you do not want to take a physical hit from Ursaluna, as Mimikyu still feeling the effects of that watery vortex, and out comes Oinkologne for the Goldenrod Aces, immediately landing in those toxic spikes, similar to Oranguru, so it now is the poisoned one on the field. Ursaluna, though, with the Metal Sound, now being the quickest on the field after that speed boost, going for Blissey there, lowering that special defense a great deal. Very good strategy there, but with the foul play from Mimikyu, finally eliminates Ursaluna from this matchup. Ursaluna having such a good showing, had been in since the start, as has Mimikyu with the Shell Sidearm from Blissey onto Oinkologne. Oinkologne is going to respond with the Volt Tackle. Mimikyu takes that hit, able to hold on, but Oinkologne does get recoil damage here, and that poisoning as well, still doing damage to the normal type Pokemon, who is now joined by Pyroar, the male Pyroar that is, that lands in those toxic spikes, so it also is going to be poisoned. The Candy Hearts are building the momentum here, but the Lash Out from Pyroar onto Blissey, not very effective, and Blissey tanks that hit, allowing Mimikyu to go for the Shell Sidearm onto Pyroar. Great hit there. Pyroar already being poisoned. Now we get the Metal Sound from Blissey onto Pyroar, so it's going to have its special defense lowered. And Oinkologne now with the Ice Hammer, bringing it down. Very impressive hit there onto Blissey, but it is going to lower the speed stat of Oinkologne. I do not think it minds too much. It's already the slowest Pokemon on the field. We are down to the last two Pokemon for the Goldenrod Aces, and they're both poisoned, so they really need to bring some big hits in, as Pyroar, quickest Pokemon on the field, goes for the Draining Kiss, and Mimikyu is eliminated from this match. And brilliant strategy there by Pyroar to restore a little bit of its own health in the process, taking it from Mimikyu. Blissey, though, is going to throw out some more toxic spikes. This would have been fantastic for them to do early, so that they would have badly poisoned any of the normal Pokemon that landed on the field. Oinkologne, though, with the Force Palm onto Blissey, not very effective. Does get a good hit there, though, as Pyroar feels the effects of the poisoning. Oinkologne is closer to being eliminated than Pyroar is. There are still 3 Pokemon remaining for the Fairy types, and Hatterene now comes out onto the field. Pyroar immediately going for the Poltergeist, and it is about to strike Hatterene with its own Leopard Berry. This could do huge damage, and it does a super effective hit. Fantastic for the normal types, as a substitute is attempted to be set up by Blissey, but it doesn't have enough health left to complete it, as the Hydro Steam from Oinkologne onto Hatterene. Hatterene's able to hold on, though, and it is going to respond with a Leaf Storm onto Pyroar, and that not very effective move has eliminated Pyroar from this matchup. It does lower the special attack of Hatterene, which is even more powerful than the previously mentioned Gardevoir earlier on in this matchup. Oinkologne only has one turn left before this Poisoning is going to finish it off, but the Aqua Tail from Blissey is going to do that. It's going to eliminate the normal type. The Fairy type Candy Hearts have won here today. A fantastic showing from this side. Hopefully for them, this can be the turnaround in their season that they are going to need, because next round they will be going up against the Akala Capsules, as the Candy Hearts have moved themselves into a Leaders 8 position, whereas the normal types currently in 15th will be taking on the Steel type Olivine Carbons. But until then, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field, and if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I'll see you when you see me.